welcome back to the Daniel Ademi podcast, cutting through the noise one episode at a time. If you've been with me, you know the last episode went deep. So deep that I couldn't even fit it all into one session. Well, today we are picking off right where we left off. If you haven't heard part one yet, I'd recommend you start there. But if you're all caught up, let's get straight into the continuation of our conversation. We ended off last episode on pressures nobody warned us about, and today we'll be continuing from the real struggles of growing up Nigerian. There are the real struggles, guys. There are battles that we fight that no one is aware of. That even if we talk about it or mention it, it might get shoved off. For one, mental health is almost never a conversation in most homes. You can be going through depression, anxiety, even just confusion about life, and the response you'll likely get is pray about it, or you'll be fine. We were never really taught how to process emotions, just how to suppress them. Now, I'm not saying that prayer doesn't work or prayer is not the right thing to do. I'm just saying that sometimes we just want to be seen and heard and not just pushed aside like our feelings don't matter. Then there's the other part of the story, which is the strictness. Many of us grew up in households where obedience mattered more than expression. You couldn't question, you couldn't challenge, you couldn't do a lot of things. You just had to obey. And while that discipline shaped us, it's also left many of us struggling to find our own voices later in life. I remember a scenario I once experienced in school. This lady was called upon to speak about a topic, like classic, just, hey, speak about this thing. And I'm sure she knew about this topic. Well, guess what? She stood up and froze. There was no sound, no movement coming from her. Well, she was then asked to sit. I'll never forget what the lecturer said afterwards. She said, and I quote, "It is people like these who aren't given the opportunity to speak at home or who are being shut down when they try to speak." And she's so right. Our homes are meant to be the first contact to teach us and mature us into everything we know we are or that we will be. Imagine if there were no opportunities for this lady to speak or express herself. Little wonder she was mute when she was called upon. Now, think about this. How many people are like this lady out there with no room for expression, no room to display their true nature, their authentic self, and you wonder why people are struggling to find their purpose, find their meaning, their reason for being, when even their parents couldn't show it to them. It's a sad reality, to be honest. And there's the economic reality. A lot of us started hustling way too early, like I mentioned in the first part of this podcast, or the first part of the podcast. More reason you should listen to the other part that I say you should listen to. Nigeria, eh, Nigeria forces us to figure out our survival before we figure ourselves. I'll say that again. Nigeria forces us to figure out our survival before we even figure out ourselves. No one tells you how draining it is to be young and already carrying out adult responsibilities. I mean, how do we even begin to explain this? That our children are men. The outside world they might never understand this. I guess that's what makes us Nigerian. But even with all these struggles, there's another side to the story. Because somehow, in the middle of all that pressure, silence, and survival, we developed something so powerful that I like to call resilience. Nigerians have this rare ability to adapt anywhere, to create something out of nothing, to survive storms and still laugh in the middle of them. The same strictness that silenced us also taught us discipline. The same economic hardship that forced us to hustle also sharpened our creativity. Our creativity stems from our ability to think beyond, to see beyond the now. It taught us to innovate, to invent, to inspire. I mean, think of the likes of Tunde Onakoya, the founder of Chess in Slums Africa, who says it is impossible to do great things. It is possible, sorry, it is possible to do great things from a small place. Who, amidst the odds, his background, amidst everything that he went through, he built the type of life that his children will be proud of. Or think about Hilda Bassi, who was the Guinness World Record holder for her marathon cooking for 93 hours and 11 minutes, and who is currently the world record holder for cooking the largest quantity of jollof rice. Think about this. People who, came from a background where they didn't have so much are able to reinvent themselves to be the person that they are today. And that's what Nigeria teaches you. In Nigeria, this hustle mentality has somewhat shaped us into who we are today, inspiring change and igniting hearts everywhere we go. Now, when I think about it, when I look back and think about it, I realize that a lot of who I am today comes from those exact struggles. For example, I learned contentment at an early age. It taught me how to enjoy and prioritize what I have in the moment. When you are seeing other kids have certain things that you want, but you know that you can't have it because your parents can't afford it. The one shoe that you have, you won't you manage it? You cannot go and steal now. I had to learn to enjoy and appreciate what I was given by my parents and not be jealous to the point where, like I said, I'll go and look for money or steal it from somebody's legs. Hmm, if only. At the time, maybe I felt bad, but thinking about it right now, it gave me a toughness I didn't even know I was building. And I know I'm not the only one. Everyone here and everyone has this nobody wonders story that turned into a lesson, a strength, or even a source of pride. Something that when you look back, you wonder like, wait, this thing actually built me into who I am now, and I'm better. My life tilted into a different direction because of this experience. It's almost like the struggle and the strength are two sides of the same coin. Growing up Nigerian isn't easy. Sorry, I had to breathe for that part. Growing up Nigerian isn't easy, and it's not always glamorous, but it shaped us into some of the strongest, funniest, and most resilient people in the world. Nobody warned us about it, but maybe, just maybe, that's the point. Our abilities to write our own stories, to write our own legacies, to be the people that will change the world for good, irrespective of where we are coming from. All this is the reason why we are called Nigerians. Thank you for listening to the Daniel Demi podcast, cutting through the noise one episode at a time. If you related to this, send it to your guy. Send and say, oh boy, there's something about Nigerians that you never knew. Listen to this podcast. You will hear these stories. Or maybe just send it to someone who you think needs to understand our world a little better. Until we meet again, stay proud, stay strong, and keep growing. Bye.